results running towards that goal from 50 metres out, and the momentum's with the club. The score's level. You must have thought, you're feeling pretty good about where the game was heading at that stage.
Yeah, I thought, give the boys credit, they hung in there. Even though the scoreboard was in our favour at quarter time, I didn't think we had a grip on the game. I thought Collingwood were in control of it. We only had 10 inside 50s, and at one stage we had 7 inside 50s and we'd kicked 3 goals forward, but we just didn't get the ball in our forward line enough. Sam was a threat, other guys were lurking, but we didn't really press. I thought we were obviously getting done around the stoppage here and there, but I thought the boys made a really good adjustment into that second quarter, and we arrested the game, got it on our terms. Although it was pretty close at half time, I felt like the game was where we needed it. And then, I think Collingwood would be sitting in there and thinking that they probably deserved to win based on what the KPIs say, and that's fair enough. But if looking for the positives, I'm wrapped with the boys' perseverance more than anything. Gave us a look, as you said, with Joel, and then almost another one, and got a few balls smothered here and there. But ultimately, I feel like it's still one that got away.
Do you feel like overall you're taking a bit more risk with the ball coming forward, which means you might occasionally make the odd mistake or turnover? But I don't know, it just felt a few times like you're prepared to take a few more chances.
Yeah, I didn't think that they hurt us from some of those kicks that you're talking about. I thought that they got us when we tried to overshape the ball by hand. We overused the ball, particularly in the first half, with handball change, and then I thought the correction was better. You might have noticed the adjustment maybe that Harvey Gallagher made. I just praised him for the request was there. Harv's, you got to understand when you're in space and what we're after, and I felt like he had a really positive change of his game in that. So I feel like they pressured us into balls that spat forward, and then we were in trouble in open space. Anything dropped in the open from a stoppage, we were in trouble. They set the ground up like that, Collingwood. We knew that. We had to mitigate that risk throughout the course of the night, and we probably just quite didn't do it well enough. And they capitalised on some of those opportunities, and in the end it was telling. The 1 goal margin, they left some out there, they kicked some points, but a lot of it was from those short range turnovers, I feel.
How exciting was the way Sam Darcy stepped up on the big stage tonight?
Yeah, he's a threat. He's a significant threat, Sam, and that's where I say, when you come in at half time, you've only had 22 entries, and you're just in front. There's some promise there, because if you get repeated territory, if you're able to keep it there, maybe you give others an opportunity, and Sam's in the game a little bit more as well. So we've been a team that's the style of game we play and the ball use that we talk about. We've been a team that's been high inside 50, and we obviously everyone endeavours to keep the opposition out of their territory, and we've been pretty good at that over the journey. But we got tramped on there tonight by about 10, I think.
What's the ceiling for someone like Sam Darcy? I know it's a hard one to answer, but is he a guy that could be the best player in the comp one day? Is he that type of talent?
Well, forwards in their position, it's a bit temperamental because they do rely so heavily on their teammates. When you're inside mid or ruck, you're in charge and in control of your own destiny. So there's no doubt that you see his highest point stuff and you think, how are they going to stop that? And I suppose that's the thing. He'll get the rub of the green here and there with different things, but the supply and as he matures, can he cover more ground? Can we grow as a team to provide more and more opportunity for him? And that's all going to all those factors are going to be the things that influence where he can get to in his career and where he can get to with his status in the competition. Because at the moment everyone sees him as an enormous talent, enormous, quite literally, a huge threat for their planning. Any team thinks, what are we going to do? So we should all benefit from that, and we probably didn't tonight. Sam was a definite influence, but we didn't have enough around there, and I think it was probably because of the lack of quantities of their opportunity, but also we gave way too many free kicks away in aerials, way too many.
Obviously, frustrating to lose a close one. When you lose a close one, knowing you're without like a considerable block of key players, no one wants to use that as an excuse, but it's inescapable. It's a factor. How do you sort of balance those two things when you're talking to the players about how to treat this result? Because there's a lot of positives, and there's guys to come back, so there's a lot of good out of it, but you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to dwell on the injuries, but they need to be factored into it.
Yeah, well, there's two things. You've got to make sure that the boys playing feel like they're valued and they're not just warming a seat, for someone else to come and take it. And I know that everyone's processing the fact that we've got some experienced, influential players out, but that's not really the way we're talking internally. And I just said to the players there, you look at Collingwood's team and make comparisons and don't make excuses. We're in the game. Credit to you. Well done. But we didn't win it. And we came here tonight to win the game. So, yeah, but I mean, our workplace, our group know within it that they're safe, that the coach is measured, all the coaches are measured, people who are supporting them are going to search for the positives and help them through the tough periods and aspects that they need to probably be better at. So it's pretty easy to balance. You just don't become too emotional about it. Just encouragement's the key, especially for all the younger guys. They're going to keep learning week to week and growing. And yeah, we'll come together again. Another big challenge on Friday night against the Blues.
You mentioned the free kicks earlier. It was 33-14 to Collingwood in the end. What did you make of the umpiring tonight? It looked like a few possible chopping of the arms with Darcy a few times. Should have been called. Yeah,
it's not a safe place for any senior coach, I think, to be talking about the adjudication of the game. It didn't. I was frustrated with some of the blatant ones that we gave away, and in the end, I just treated it swings and roundabouts, and I knew about the differential at the end of the game, but we've got to move on.
Darcy obviously played such a low hand. Does it make it even more frustrating the fact that Jamara's not out there? What could have been? It's almost like a self-inflicted wound when you could have a two-pronged attack out. Is that a bit frustrating as well?
Oh, it depends how you look at it. I mean, if you're an economist, you think about the opportunity cost either way. I think one of the difficult things is the ruck situation. Tim needs a break. Someone's got to do it. How do you do it? How do you find the juice? Early in the year too, guys are out there for a while. So that's one of the considerations, and how you pick your team. So, I think with even, say, Buku, I thought Buku really held up well, definitely in the last quarter. I thought he and Bailey Williams were just tremendous. I thought they were great roadblocks, and Lobby stayed out there all night again, just quite outstanding. And so, but with our keys, we've got young Jordan Croft who was looking promising, maybe even a chance to play senior footy, and then's had a hiccup or two just in his training. He'll play tomorrow against the Northern Bull Ants, and with James O'Donnell going out this week, he's a candidate to play either end of the ground, and Buku can do that too. So I think we've still got a lad or two who can help balance up and even give us that representation if we need to do that, or if we want to do it in selection. So we're thinking about it from an opportunity point of view, and we'll keep searching for whether or not we need that.
Fairly conspicuous out there tonight, Rory Watt. Any comment on that?
Yeah, I caught it when I saw him the other day. I know it won't stick, but I thought he was Dennis Rodman reincarnate, even though Dennis is still with us. Yeah, look, he's bold. He's playing well, so you can have your hair whatever colour you want if you're playing all right.
I was going to say, Collingwood are obviously so good in close games, and since Craig McRae's taken over, does the psychology almost creep into the team? Is it hard to gauge? Like, do they almost think, like, geez, Collingwood in a close game, we're here again? Does that come into it at all, do you think?
I don't think so, but yeah, I mean, definitely 2 years ago. I mean, they win 10 or 12, unbelievably. And obviously, I don't know whether it's sustainable. It obviously wasn't last year. But yeah, I thought Steele Sidebottom had an outstanding last quarter for them, and there's a bit of experience there out of the middle. He just surged the ball. He kicked a couple for the game, but he kicked a really important forward 50 stoppage goal for them, and there's some experience. He and I didn't think we tackled the guys who have got good deception. He and Pendles, one or two others. I felt like our tackling game wasn't as good as theirs tonight, where they got us a few times and got some free kicks from it. And so it's an area that we want to be good at it, but there's some improvement to come in us in that facet, and they played that way, and their source pressure was pretty good to the line, I felt. But the experience stood up in the last quarter.
I feel like you came out of tonight injury-wise okay?
I think we're pretty good. Yep. Thanks, everyone.